Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 DIYs for a winter wonderland. I will be using some Dollar Tree items and thrift flips to transition from Christmas to winter. Welcome to my channel, Freckled Mom DIY. I'm Devin. If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, hey! This is a challenge I'm hosting room by room winter wonderland. I'll tell you about my co-host blondienextdoor in a bit. But let's get right into these DIYs. I'm calling this one Winter in a Jar. This is so adorable. I have some fake snow, some mason jars, leftover greenery from my Christmas DIYs, and some pine cones. Everything was from Hobby Lobby. And these mason jars I keep in my supply. I love mason jars. I wasn't sure exactly how to go about this, so this is definitely trial and error. So if you have a better idea, I want to hear in my comments. But right here, all I'm doing is taking some hot glue and I am just putting it on the bottom, well, the top of this mason jar. I kind of have it at an angle, so sometimes it drips a little bit more and sometimes it just kind of sits there. The whole point is that we're going to be adding snow to this. So I want it to look like a thick piece of snow is sitting on the top of these jars. So I have some Mod Podge. I let it dry. And I didn't let it dry too long, just let it harden. And then I put on my Mod Podge. And I'm putting it on pretty thick because I want this to look like thick snow. So now I have this snow I got from Hobby Lobby. I'm sure you can use any snow, any kind of glitter. I think it'll look fine, but this is what I had. And I just throw it on there, and then every once in a while I dip it down into the bottom. And then I keep going, and I'm just trying to make it nice and thick and realistic looking. And then you're gonna see I end up going and getting my adhesive spray because I thought that might be a little quicker. It really didn't matter. It kind of made a mess doing the adhesive spray, but either way you do it, Mod Podge or adhesive spray, I think it is super cute. And you can see I'm just doing it any which way, no rhyme or reason. I'm just throwing it on there and dipping it inside the snow. And then after I add some extra snow into the jar itself to fill up the bottom of the mason jar. Now you could use the jars from Dollar Tree or anything you had that's see-through. And then I just cut off my picks and I'm just sticking them in there. There was really no rhyme or reason to this. You could do this with whatever greenery you have or maybe some mini Christmas embellishments. And then I have these pine cones here. And I thought they were super cute. I didn't want to go too crazy on it because we are transitioning from Christmas to winter, which I feel is a little bit more subdued. So here I am just hot gluing them right to the jar. And I think this came out so adorable. I just love it so much. You're going to see the finished part of it, but I am just hot gluing the acorns to the jars here. I made 2 of them. And then I took a little bit of twine, I wrapped it around, made a cute little bow, nothing crazy, no frillies here, and no sparkles. And then the other one, I just made a bow and hot glued it to the jar. How adorable are these? I think this came out so sweet. Again, you could do whatever you wanted. You could change up the jar. You can change up what's inside the jar. You can change up the embellishments on the outside of the jar. You could turn this into a Christmas DIY. I think this came out really sweet, and I think it is a perfect beginning to my winter wonderland. This is a sign I used using a thrift frame. So we had done a clean out for my husband's business and I had gotten this for free. It is pretty dingy, it is pretty gross. So all I did was flip it over and I took all the paper off, the rusty nails, and you can tell that this has seen some better days. There was some mold on it. This definitely needed a good cleaning. And so I pulled everything apart. I don't know how old this is. It is pretty dingy, and this glass was very dangerous. It cracked a couple of times. So after I cleaned everything up, I gave it a good coat of my Waverly ink paint. And I only did 1 coat just in case anything showed through. I was going to be okay with that. I'm not trying to get a full coverage, but this ink was pretty heavy, so that was good. This is just some cardboard. Now I got rid of that glass because it was broken, and I cut the cardboard down to size to fit inside the frame. Now you can see that this is definitely cardboard, but I wanted this to kind of look like old, and I don't know, I just thought it was cute. So anyways, I go through and I paint that ink on the cardboard as well. Now you could use a foam board or anything you wanted. I cut it to size, so now I am just fitting it in, and I'm hot gluing it just on the top so I can take this out and change it up whenever I want to. Now I'm going to do some Club Couture, and I wasn't sure how to do that on cardboard, so I did do a little bit of wax first just so it wouldn't stick to it, and then I'm laying my Club Couture transfer down. This is from a larger transfer, but I am using just a portion that says winter, and I'm using my paste that is the color sage. And then I peel it up, and that is it, guys. I think this came out so cute. It is definitely a little different than signs that we see all the time, and I just love the way it came out. I love the cardboard and the effect that it gave. I just think it was such a quick, simple project to add to my winter wonderland. Today's co-host is my friend Jelena from blondienextdoor. Her Serbian culture shines through her beautiful modern farmhouse DIYs. Make sure to follow along the playlist to see everyone's winter wonderland videos, and look down in the description for her channel as well. On my channel, we do some Dollar Tree crafts, thrift flips, and more. If you like these kind of videos, go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. You can also find me on Instagram as Freckled Mom. So again, thank you, Jelena, for co-hosting today. I just love this project of hers. It is so adorable. So I am sticking with the colors for this winter wonderland, and I have some more jars, and then I have some rocks and some light up lights from the Dollar Tree. So here I am just going to color the top of the jars with that Waverly ink paint, and I do 2 coats just so it's nice and thick and you don't see light shining through it. And then I had this idea. I didn't know if it was going to work, but it did. I just put a little bit of the ink on a firm stamp pad, and I just rub it lightly across the jar. So that way the little rivets in the jar, the detail, can get that paint. Now it is kind of messy, so what I did was I would do a section, let it dry, and then do a section. You can do your heat gun in between to speed up the process. And then I just kept doing it, and I think this came out so adorable, and I think it gives it that like distressed kind of vintage feel. Now I've never seen these lights at Dollar Tree, and I love them. They look like a real rose, and then you could just take out the little tag in the back and it lights up, and it lights up different colors. So it would be nice if it was just pure white, but that's okay. So these rocks were also found at Dollar Tree in the floral department. I just put a whole bunch of them at the bottom, and then I threw in the candle, and then I threw in some more rocks if I felt like I needed it. But this is a quick idea, and you could do this again for any season. You could just change up the colors, change up what's inside. I think this is so simple and so sweet, and I think it just adds that perfect touch of winter wonderland. And you really can't see that it's a flower until you look inside, but I just love this so much. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Not to be like them. We fly around like paper planes. Now I wanted to make a little tray here for my mantelpiece, and this tray was so simple, guys. I took one of the plates from the Dollar Tree and 2 candle holders, and I did a mixture of E6000 and my hot glue, and I didn't overlap them. I just did one on one side, one on the other side, and then I just flip them over and I stick them to the bottom of this tray. I did not even paint the tray. I thought it was the perfect color for this theme, Winter Wonderland. and I think it is just super sweet, and it's the perfect size to fit on my mantle because I needed like a long skinny piece. So I thought this was adorable, and I think it is perfect. It is the perfect height, and it just holds just enough little knickknacks so it's not overbearing. And how sweet is this? Alone it looks a little funny, but together I think it is perfect. Here I wanted to make a potted tree, but I wanted to stay with that vintage kind of feel. So I had some jalapeno peppers here, and I just cleaned them out of the jar and clean the can up. And be careful because I sliced my finger quite a few times painting this. So first I did just a quick dry brushing of my plaster, and I did that over the entire jar. And then I went through with my cashew, and I just did another quick dry brushing, and I didn't do the entire thing. I just did it where I felt like it would look okay, and then I did a little bit more of the plaster on top, and so I was going back and forth. And then I have my elephant here from Waverly, and I do the same thing just so that way there's a bunch of different colors. It kind of looks distressed. I have these Dollar Tree Christmas trees, and I just took the bottoms off, and I have some foam blocks I'm going to stick in the bottom of these canisters. And I really wanted a bigger canister, but I think this one fit perfect for my mantle place. But if you're putting it somewhere else, do whatever container it fits well with. So I'm just opening up the trees, and I'm going to put them together. So I couldn't find my green floral wire. I used gold, which is okay. You can't even see it. So I just tied it together. You could use a zip tie, whatever works for you. And then I just push it down inside the foam, and then I push it all the way down just so you can't see inside of my container. And then I have some extra of those picks that I used earlier in my little jars. So I am just sticking them in just to add a little variation, a little extra color, and just to make it look more full. Now I have this Plaster Waverly paint, and I'm just going through and I'm dry brushing on the branches. You could use the flock spray if you want, or you could add actual snow. I thought it was going to be easier with the paint, so that's what I did, and I think it came out so adorable. It just has that little extra touch of snow. And again, I love this for my winter wonderland. I think this is so sweet, and it has that vintage feel that I love, and I just think it works perfect on my mantle place. It is not too big and overpowering. And this is just a nice little addition. You could put this in a coffee bar or wherever you have a small spot to fill up. I had gotten this in the Target dollar spot, and I am just painting this with my ink from Waverly just so it has a nice finish. I'm doing a little bit of my wax over this because I am going to Club Couture on it. So again, this is a snowflake that comes from that big package that was the winter package from Club Couture. It's a transfer. I'll put that down in the link, and I'm using that sage again. I think this is such a pretty color, and all you do is squeegee it on. That is it, guys. You put it on and then you scrape it off to get any of the excess, and then all you do is peel it up. And you can see I just have some washi tape holding down the transfer, and then you peel it up and it is all done. I think this is super sweet, super cute, very quick, and just a perfect addition to add to my winter wonderland. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you were inspired and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing and hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. If you are looking for any of my supplies that I use, the link to my Amazon store is down in my description. If you're looking to purchase chalk supplies, head to my link tree down below. If you want to save 40% and become a designer yourself, message me through email, Instagram, or Facebook. Today was an open playlist for Room by Room Winter Wonderland. I want to thank my friend Yelena for co-hosting, as well as all my amazing friends for adding to the playlist. So make sure you follow the link for the playlist to watch these videos. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Freckled Mom. We also have a craft group on Facebook, the Crafters Collab, and we are inviting you. There's a link in my description. Let them know Devin sent you. I hope you have a wonderful evening and a great weekend. Keep crafting, and I'll see you back very soon.
There's something different about the way we are.